Hey guys, it's Madison, and I just wanted to take a few minutes. So I'm actually at work right now, and some of the ladies that I work with have actually requested to be in a video. This is Rochelle, this is Rachel, and this is somewhere, I can't find her, Andrea.
Hey world.
And this is Candy.
In the far background.
So they've been viewers of my YouTube channel for a little while and have kind of supported me throughout my transition, and they had requested to be in a video, so there they are. These are some of the ladies that I actually work with on a daily basis. I actually like some of them, and I'll leave it to them to figure out which ones are which. But
The ones that's
yeah.
in the video.
So the past couple weeks, one of my videos that has gained a ton of popularity, and it has shot up from like no views a day to a whole bunch, is the video where I talked about my first day living full-time as a woman. And a lot of that was centered around work. And I thought maybe this would be a topic that you would be interested in, so I kind of want to break down for you guys and go through the process I went through when I transitioned at work. So let's go ahead and do that now. Basically, a few people at my office knew that I was transitioning and that I was trans as far back as like day one when I was on hormones, but the group was pretty small. There was like 2 or 3 people who knew. I came out to my HR department back in, I think it was January of 2017, so this year, and I told them what was going on, and I asked them to keep it a secret and to not not tell that information to anyone, and I trusted that they wouldn't, and they didn't. They did a good job. And then I finally came out to my boss, I believe it was in March, it may have been April, I'm pretty sure it was March of 2017. I called him and I told him that there was something I wanted to talk about with him that was kind of private and personal, and we arranged a meeting, and I had him and then one of the ladies from HR in there, and basically I poured my guts out and my heart out to him. And he's a very nice man, and I explained to him that I was trans and that I wanted to transition at work, and he was very okay seeming with this. I think I kind of caught him off guard by surprise a little bit, but let's face it, who wouldn't be? And so that meeting went really well, and once again I asked him to keep it a secret and not go spreading it around to everybody, because really no one else in the office knew at that time. And that's pretty much how it went on for the next several months. But then in June, I decided that it was time for me to make my, full transition at the office. So I went back and talked to my HR department, and I told them, this is what I wanted to do. I chose a date, which was June 23rd. It was a Friday, and I told them this was the day that I intended on making my transition at work. And I told them this probably back towards like the beginning of June, so they had like a couple weeks. And I had another meeting with my boss, and he wanted to make sure that that him as well as everyone else in the company kind of respected me and my wishes. And so during this meeting, we talked a lot about what my wishes were and what I wanted to accomplish, and kind of like figured out how this whole transition process was going to work for me, because I do and did at the time hold a very prominent position within the company, a very high up administration position, to where I was a lot of people's boss at that time, and I still am. So it was going to be tricky a little bit, to say the least. But during this meeting, we went over, I basically, or rather HR, basically told me that they would be printing off and giving out copies of our sexual harassment and discrimination policies for work, and that they would be holding meetings with the staff to tell them that one of the people who worked for the company came out as transgender, and that I would be transitioning at work. They also told them what my name was going to be, which was Madison, and the pronouns that I preferred, which are female pronouns, she, her, and hers. It's windy out here. And they basically I think emphasized to the staff, or were going to emphasize to the staff, that discrimination wouldn't be tolerated and all this sorts of stuff, and I deserve to be treated with respect just like everyone else, and just like I'd always been treated in the past. Now, when they actually had these meetings, I was not present for them. They had asked me if I was comfortable not being present at those meetings. The answer was a resounding hell yes, because I did not want to be there when they went over this with the staff, because it was going to probably be a little bit awkward, and I figured people might have questions that they might feel more comfortable asking if I was not present. And so they had these meetings, and I was not there for them, so that's kind of how I assumed they went. That's what I was told was going to happen. I assumed that's what did. I don't know. I don't care. It's done in the past. But one of my only requests, so right before these meetings took place, I had another meeting with my boss in the HR department to discuss, like, make sure they had all my requests and wishes. And I requested that since I wasn't going to be there in person, that I wanted to write a letter for them to pass out during these meetings, so that people would get a chance to hear what I had to say, and in my own words, about how I felt and what this was meaning to me. And so I did that. I typed up a letter. Everybody approved it and signed off. And, we had that mass produced basically and handed out to everyone in the company for them to read. One thing that I really liked about the experience was that nothing was said or distributed to the rest of the staff and the people that I worked with without my approval first. So all the discrimination policies, all that kind of stuff, they actually made me sign off on all that stuff, saying that yes, I agree that I think you should distribute this, and they didn't do anything without my approval first, which felt very comforting to me. It made me feel like I had more control over the situation, and it made the whole transition process easier for me. So I really do appreciate that. And so anyway, they had these meetings, and one of my wishes that I expressed to the HR department and to my boss was, at first I had a couple. So the first one was obviously for my name Madison to be used and female pronouns. I said I would be very understanding of mistakes initially, because I know they're going to happen. And that would be fine. I also expressed that I would be more than happy to answer anyone's questions if they had any. I expressed that I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. And my final wish would be that my old name would basically die, and that when we hired new people, that nobody would be like, oh yeah, her name was beforehand. And nobody would explicitly out me that I was trans from one coworker to another. Obviously, everyone there at the time knew and was well informed of that fact. But newer people, they would not be informed of that fact, and I should just be treated like any other female worker at this place that I happen to work at. And so that was kind of how it went, and all of that happened really well, happened really smoothly. And then the day came for me to actually transition. And if you haven't watched it already, I'll put a link up above so you guys can kind of watch the video that details my first day living full-time as female and what that experience was like at work. But I will say that despite everything that had happened, and as prepared as I thought I was for it, I was still horrified, super nervous. I don't know, I was just... It's something that you can be ready for, but never ready for. And I did it. I just had to hold my breath, and I jumped in, and I did it. I'm so happy it worked out the way that it did, and everything happened how it did. I couldn't be happier. And anyway, I just thought maybe you guys might be interested to know a little bit more about that whole process that I went through at my job, and what we did to make sure that everybody was informed, and that I wouldn't just show up one day as a different gender and kind of freak everyone out. So that's kind of the process that I went through. And like I said, I just thought maybe you guys might be interested in this, since that last video that I mentioned about my first day living full-time as female has taken off in the past few days, getting a ton of views. And so I just thought maybe you might be interested. So anyways, I appreciate you watching, and if this is your first time on my channel, make sure you press that subscribe button down below. I would love to have you join our family. It's the greatest place ever, I think. I'm very, very proud of the family and the community we have here on this channel. Also, I want you guys to kind of be thinking, leave me some comments down below. We're getting really close to that 1,000 subscriber mark. At the way the channel's been growing, we'll probably hit it sometime in the next 30 days, I'm guessing. And I'd be curious to know what you guys want to see me do to celebrate that 1,000 subscriber mark. So make sure you leave me a comment down below letting me know with your suggestions, and I will take them all into consideration. And as always, you guys, until next time, be kind and make good choices.